Zhang Yi's vigilance remained absolute despite the seemingly favorable turn of events with both Xing Tian and the snow worship cult seeking cooperation. When Zhao Jianhua, the grand law enforcer of the Baixue sect, produced a small wooden box containing the cult's sacred object, the ice soul, Zhang Yi's suspicion sharpened. The artifact was claimed to unlock spiritual potential, granting extraordinary abilities to ordinary people and deepening the power of existing superhumans. Fatty Su hesitated to accept the box, prompting Zhang Yi to demand its function. Zhao Jianhua's explanation triggered a flash of recognition in Zhang Yi, who recalled Li Jian's description of a white, snowball-like soft tissue implanted in the forehead to awaken abilities, and the Grand Decree's previous failed attempt to persuade Uncle Liu. A cold smile touched Zhang Yi's lips. He never believed in free lunches, and such effortless power acquisition reeked of hidden danger. He ordered Yang Xinxin to investigate, and her rapid research through Xishan base records confirmed the Ice Soul's existence. 2 early superhumans at Xishan had awakened via this method, sparking the base's subsequent cyborg research using transplanted cells. The records further identified the Ice Soul as human-derived cells, almost certainly Yuan Kongya's own, and noted that all 4 major Tianhai bases had requested and verified the substance, finding no harmful components or means of remote manipulation. Despite this validation, Zhang Yi's distrust did not waver. He accepted the wooden box through Fatty Su, reasoning that possession carried no obligation to use it, while Zhao Jianhua's shrewd smile revealed a calculating mindset. Even if the alliance failed, strengthening Zhang Yi to kill more enemies from other forces served the cult's interests. When pressed for operational details, Zhao Jianhua bowed and outlined a treacherous strategy. The snow worship cult would participate in the coalition's assault as a feint, then strike the other 3 bases in the back the moment weakness appeared, confirming Zhang Yi's assessment that their ambitions ran far deeper than mere survival. Zhang Yi listened to the Grand Decree's proposal with cold calculation, recognizing the snow worship cult's scheme to let the allied forces and his shelter bleed each other white before intervening to claim the spoils. Despite the transparent manipulation, Zhang Yi accepted the offer of a military alliance against the Yangsheng, Chaoyu, and Qingpu bases, conditional on the Ice Soul proving genuine. The Grand Decree, pleased, added a final demand: the right to spread the snow god's faith throughout Zhang Yi's territory after the battle. Zhang Yi dismissed the request as typical cult recruitment but agreed, seeing no harm in allowing them to manage the populace he had no time to govern. With the Qingpu base holding neutral and the snow worship cult plotting treachery, Zhang Yi felt the strategic landscape shifting in his favor, a smile touching his lips at the prospect of turning the 4-way siege into a trap of his own making. After the Grand Decree departed, Zhang Yi turned his attention to the wooden box delivered as a sincerity gift. Su Pingzi brought it forward nervously, and Zhang Yi immediately sequestered it within his alternate dimension to neutralize any potential explosive or surveillance device. Inside lay 2 white spherical crystals, faintly wriggling and exhaling threads of cold air, the Ice Souls. Zhang Yi studied them with deep suspicion. Though verified by 4 major bases and used on Li Jian without apparent issue, he refused to believe the cult's motives were altruistic. In the apocalypse, no one empowered others without ulterior purpose. Yet the temptation to create 2 new superhumans was immense, and he could not simply discard such a resource. The atmosphere in the room shifted as burning gazes converged on him. Zhou Kur, Yang Xia, and Lu Karen stared with undisguised longing. As ordinary women in a shelter of superhumans, their roles were limited to support, and Yang Xia especially felt the weight of her helplessness, reduced to housework and stress relief. She voiced the question trembling on all their lips: should they use the Ice Souls? Lu Karen's embarrassment could not mask her hunger. Yang Xinxin alone remained calm, her intellect warning of hidden costs. Zhang Yi glanced at them, his mind already made up. The Ice Souls would not be wasted, but he would not risk his core partners on an unknown variable. Someone had to test them first. Zhang Yi gathered the core team in the living room to address 2 pressing matters: the experimental Ice Soul crystals delivered by the Snow Worship cult and the imminent 4-faction assault scheduled in 3 days. He confirmed the Ice Soul could awaken superpowers in ordinary people and had been used by the 4 major bases without documented side effects, yet he remained deeply suspicious of a free lunch. He announced only 1 crystal would be used initially, asking for volunteers to act as a guinea pig. While the existing superhumans showed little interest, the ordinary residents Yang Xia, Zhou Kur, and Zhou Jaime all raised their hands. Zhang Yi chose Yang Xia, internally calculating that her potential loss would least disrupt shelter operations and that her loyalty made her controllable should the implantation cause dangerous changes. Yang Xia embraced him tearfully, grateful for the chance to transcend her support role. Moving to the battle plan, Zhang Yi declared that neither Qingpu base nor the Baixue sect could be trusted as allies. Both were likely to betray the shelter at the critical moment. The primary strategy remained preparing for a full 4-front attack, but a devilish contingency was added: if the situation shifted, the sanctuary would become the invaders' burial ground. The team then proceeded to the implantation. For safety, Yang Xia was restrained in a reinforced, camera-monitored room with alloy walls. Zhang Yi opened the wooden box, revealing two irregular, writhing white spheres emitting intense cold. Using gloved hands and tweezers, he placed one crystal on Yang Xia's forehead. Fine tendrils instantly erupted from the mass, anchoring to her skin, and the crystal liquefied and sank into her head in under 2 seconds, leaving only a fleeting white mark. Yang Xia's eyes lost focus before she slipped into a deep sleep. Zhang Yi ordered continued observation, leaving the surveillance systems to monitor her condition while the shelter braced for the coming war. Zhang Yi dismissed his team to maintain vigilance for the impending 3-day deadline, though he suspected the attack might come sooner. Along with Zhou Kur, he addressed her visible jealousy over the ice soul being given to Yang Xia. Taking her hand, he explained that his refusal to let her use it stemmed from deeper care. He feared unknown side effects from a stranger's gift, and as the team's irreplaceable doctor, her safety was paramount. Yang Xia, by contrast, needed to prove her combat worth. Zhou Kur's pout melted into warmth. She accepted his reasoning and left to prepare sedatives for the sleeping test subject. Left alone, Zhang Yi mapped the strategic landscape. 4 powers circled. Yangsheng Base and Xiaoyu Base were committed enemies with personal grudges. Qingpu Base and the Snow Worship Cult were opportunistic fence-sitters. His primary targets remained the first 2. Lying in bed, he formulated a plan and dialed Xing Tian. The Qingpu leader answered with cold curiosity. Zhang Yi offered double the originally requested food to 20 tons, but with a twist. Xing Tian need not fight, only bring his men to stage a convincing feint attack. Suspicious but tempted, Xing Tian agreed after negotiating a 1/3 deposit up front, the remainder after the performance, with the exchange set for tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. at the former Xishan base ruins. Zhang Yi's calculation ran 2 layers deep. First, Qingpu's visible participation would embolden Yangsheng and Xiaoyu into arrogance, blinding them to the Snow Worship Cult's promised flank betrayal. Second, his shelter's defenses anchored by icy terrain, concealed heavy weapons, and his own vastly enhanced durability could absorb the combined assault. When the cult struck the coalition's rear and Zhang Yi counterattacked, Yangsheng and Xiaoyu would shatter. At that moment, Xing Tian's pragmatic nature would compel him to abandon pretense and join the rout, securing a decisive victory without Qingpu ever risking real casualties. The trap was set, only the actors remained to take their marks.